Alright, so most of this information is from the Theory and Practice of Therapeutic Massage and from the 2020 Centuries Mblex Study Guide. The Abmp suggests spending a great deal of time on the vocabulary and whatnot. So touch for healing goes way back. Shamans were some of the earliest healers. They were said to have magical abilities. Most of their methods still exist today. They include aroma, scents, baths, cold, cryotherapy, and more. Nei Ching is a book that is known as the first record of Chinese medical practices. It's important to note that this book dates back to 3000 BC, which is over 5,000 years ago, and some of these rituals are still used today. This is Emperor Huangqi. Basically, around 2697 BC, Huangqi would have been the leader while the ancient art of Chinese traditional medicine was developing. This is Amma. Amma is extremely important because it is basically massage that dates back to 3,000 to 5,000 years ago. Qigong, Chui Na is a modern common term which means push-pull. Believe it or not, the traditional Chinese medicine includes what is now known today as acupuncture. The special points that they use are nearly 5,000 years old. Now, if you hear shiatsu, which is commonly talked about along with massage, it was derived from Sui Na, and also sometimes it's called Amma. However, it is probably important to note that Amma was first in China, then in Japan. The Japanese book of massage was published in the 16th century. Another name for the Japanese practice was Subo. However, most of the points were basically the same as traditional Chinese medicine. So, Amma originated in China and then spread to Japan in about the 6th century. Either way, this stuff dates back to the 3000 BC, which is almost 5,000 years ago. Also, the Chinese wrote a book called The Kung Fu of Chao Tse, which is an ancient Chinese book, and the San Chai Chao Hui is a 16th century Japanese book. I did try to include everything. Now let's move on. Around 1800 BC, Ayurveda is technically a book that can be thought of as the art of life. So it included massage and hygiene principles. The Laws of Man or Manu is another book which includes massage. An important term is champua, which basically is a Hindu technique of massage and bath. Believe it or not, they may have included techniques such as kneading the extremities, tapotment, frictioning, anointing with perfumes, and cracking the joints of the fingers, toes, and neck. Sound kind of similar to something? Sure. It's like massage therapists and chiropractors, only in 300 BC. This is important to keep in mind as we will see that a shift occurred to a more observational method in massage. This is why sometimes you can keep a soap chart, but you may also approach the spiritual aspect as well. Asclepius was known to have a staff with a snake, which is still used today to represent medicine. Asclepius was the first of 3 physicians in the 300 BC Greek medicine era that were pretty important. He founded the first gymnasium, basically. People could go to the gym to prolong their lives with these practices. Athletes came, young people were educated, and soldiers healed and trained as well. Some of the top guys were at the gym discussing new ideas and advancing towards medicine as we know it today. Gym could be one of the answers when referring to medicine back then. For example, Asclepius founded the first A gym, B hospital gym. Herodicus is known to have been the founder of sports massage. People could probably thank Herodicus for founding sports medicine. Herodotus wrote about the benefits of massage, and the practice gave way to the founder of medicine, who would be known as Hippocrates. People still use the Hippocratic Oath today, which is basically a code for medical practitioners. Now, Hippocrates is very well known for describing 4 humors: blood, phlegm, black bile, yellow bile. As you can see, they kind of remind me of the Aang element benders a little bit from Avatar. However, yellow bile is like fire, blood is like air, phlegm is like water, black bile is like earth. So here yellow is air, but yellow is actually fire. And blood would be air. But it's still kind of similar. Still kind of cool. Anatripsis basically refers to rubbing. Also note that it refers to rubbing upward, which is pretty important because this is where the whole centripetal rubbing towards the heart thing started, and not downward. Hard rubbing refers to waste. They believe more in moderate rubbing, which referred to growth. Unlike sports massage, where hard rubbing is pretty much what goes down, anatripsis was known for soft upward rubbing. Asclepiades went from Greece to Rome, where he settled down and brought with him Greek medicine from the Hippocratic model of treatment. Asclepiades was basically a Greek physician who settled in Rome. Aulus Cornelius Celsus, or Acorn, was a Roman physician who basically learned from Asclepiades. Aulus Cornelius Celsus is basically known for writing the De Medicina. Acorn Celsus was an author who wrote De Medicina. Somewhere between Acorn and Hippocrates is where massage was born. Bathing was made available in Rome around this time for all people, including those living with minimal income. These baths included fragrances. Claudius Galen was said to have discovered veins and arteries in 130 AD. Now we're in the Common Era. Emperor Marcus Aurelius was the emperor at the time. In 1578, William Harvey was an English physician who was credited for entirely discovering circulation. Even Julius Caesar may have gotten a massage from time to time. Note that for a brief period of time after this, like from 228 to 337, it gets kind of dark and shamanic again. Massage didn't really make many developments during this time. It may have been practiced on the old and the sick, but was not really a big deal. This is kind of related to the recent push for certification. People worried about the safety of their communities and whether or not therapists were qualified to handle their jobs. Some people may have been abused sexually, and it didn't really make sense to keep it around at this time. It may be important to note that the actual art of massage was still highly regarded. It had never really taken a downfall, only the amount of practicing nosedives for safety reasons. Some of the top writers wrote vigorously about how good massage was and kept some of the ideas alive. Much of history from 476 to 1450 was lost from Rome. This was a hard time, and people were urged to focus more on trying to maintain the community rather than healing. However, in Arabic medicine, North Africa, Asia Minor, Mesopotamia, and Persia, 860 to 1037 AD, was actually a good time. This is where we get to Avicenna, or Ibn. First, Razi wrote the Encyclopedia of Arabic, Greek, and Roman medicine, which was connected to Hippocrates and Galen. Around 980 to 1037, Avicenna wrote the Canon of Medicine, which is said to be one of the most important medical books in history. These writings started the Renaissance and made their way to the West as Western medicine began to develop. The Renaissance was about 1450 to 1600 AD. The ancient writings of the ancient Greek, Roman, and Persian were rediscovered and used to develop new ideas. By the second half of the 15th century, the printing press had been invented. The printing press had made it possible to publish many different writings, distribute these teachings, and have more educated people in the arts and sciences. Ambroise Paré, who was a French barber surgeon, Ambroise Paré classified massage movements as hard, medium, and soft, as well as ligation of arteries. Ligation is basically the closing of arteries with surgery and joint movement, and can also be known as one of the founders of surgery, which was the first documented surgery widely known, ligation of arteries with a ligature clip. Timothy Bright began teaching at what is known today as Cambridge University in England. This was during the 16th century. Also during this time, the Chinese and the Japanese had published works of their own. By the end of the 17th century, Italian Giovanni Alfonso Borelli is thought to have learned about muscular contraction. William Harvey discovered how blood circulation is propelled by the beating of the heart. Chirurgy is known as healing with hands and was started in the early part of the 19th century by John Grosvenor, an English guy. Per Heinrich Lang in 1776 to 1839 is pretty important because he is known as the founder of physical therapy. This also kind of marks the beginning of the modern massage techniques. Lang's system of self-healing was known as medical gymnastics. He classified movements in terms of active, duplicated, and assisted, which are similar to some of the movements used today. However, Lang may have founded physical therapy in the Swedish movement cure and the Swedish Royal Central Institute of Gymnastics and Swedish Gymnastics all together, but it was a Dutch guy named Johan Mesger who basically founded massage, modern massage. He probably came up with most of the terminology that is used in today's massage practices. Because Swedish massage is pretty popular, effleurised and petrissage and deployment were some of his terminology, which are actually French words, and Mesger does have something to do with that. The Taylor brothers, including George Taylor and Charles Taylor, in 1856 are credited with bringing massage to the United States after studying in Europe. So massage in the United States is thanked by the Taylor bros, Charles and George Taylor. Hartwig Nissen opened the Swedish Health Institute for the treatment of chronic diseases by Swedish movements and massage, which was in Washington, D.C. Hartwig Nissen wrote The Swedish Movement in Massage, a practical treatise on massage, its history, mode of application and effects, indications, and contraindications, was published in 1902. John Harvey Kellogg wrote The Art of Massage in 1929, which can basically be looked at as the beginning of modern day massage, with John Harvey Kellogg writing The Art of Massage. From there, massage grew all over the world, and even in 1965 grew a little bit more with the invention of chair massage by David Palmer. There were several different tools, such as automated percussive machines, and so on. The Assailant Institute in 1962 was well known then and now as a great place to learn, and is located in California, Big Sur, California. Sports massage was used in the 1982 Olympics, and the NCBTMB and the FSMTB were formed in 1980 to 2000s. The Abmp came about as well. The AMTA pushed for credibility of massage with licensing requirements. And in 1991, the Federation of Therapeutic Massage Bodywork and Somatic Practice Organizations was formed to ensure equitable recognition of all forms of bodywork in the formation of public wellness policy and practice. The Federation's vision is to promote networking, share expertise, and create programs that advance the fields of touch and movement, and to encourage coalitions in the development of appropriate legislation. Members of the Federation include these organizations: the Federation of Therapeutic Massage, Bodywork, and Somatic Practice Organizations, American Massage Therapy Association, or the AMTA, American Organization for Bodywork Therapies of Asia, AOBTA, American Polarity Therapy Association, APTA, American Society for the Alexander Technique, AMSAT, Feldenkrais Guild of North America, FGNA, International Somatic Movement Education and Therapy Association, ISMETA, the Rolf Institute, United States Traeger Association. And that is it.